I joined the Crypto Vigilante Summit, which was held Thursday and Friday. It was worldwide, online. It was a summit. And with that, it is my great pleasure to introduce Rafael LaVerde, the Crypto Vigilante. Woo!
Thank you, Uncle Odd. I really appreciate that intro. Yes, that's my commitment to you. You will be a crypto expert before you know it.
You're not going to want to put it in digital form on your computer because there are smart people out there, really, really smart people out there who can hack your computer and get all of your passwords. So please understand the goal is, how does Mr. and Mrs. Newbie get their $1,000 into a fireproof bag? That within the fireproof bag, there's something here that is called, if you take a look, that is called a cold storage wallet. This in particular is called a Trezor. So right here, when I talk about my $45,000, $46,000, $47,000 worth of crypto, it's all right here. Without this, without the passwords, guess what? This is nothing more than a paperweight. Nothing more. There's zero value to this. But with everything that the Crypto Vigilante is going to share with you, you're going to be able to turn this into something, let's say a year. Let's move out a year, Rafael. Maybe this is worth $100,000 by the end of the year. Maybe it's worth $200,000. I don't know.
But in reality, guys, the cryptography and the technology is there for you to be your own bank. I want you to understand that this is all about a giant decision tree, right? Okay? And who you are as a person changes over time. Mm-hmm. Your needs will change over time, right? And that goes for every individual. So there is no one size fits all in crypto. In reality, since this is a beautiful technology that came to be via spontaneous order, what we have are many options in the market that you can tailor to your personal lifestyle, right? If you're someone living in a very free part of the world, your needs will be very different from someone living in a very tyrannical setting, right? Okay. So there are people that on one side of the spectrum want extreme privacy because they need it. Their lives depend on it. I'm including even people that work in government, obviously, right? Or people that are high profile individuals, right? They need privacy. They need security. So their needs are going to be very different from someone else, right? Mm-hmm. There's other people that don't care about privacy at all. And those people have many different options in the market for their liking, right? From how they buy their crypto, where they store their crypto. Actually, everyone should always go, err on the side of caution in storing their crypto and be as private as possible. So in that aspect, we all agree, right?
Yeah.
You need maximum security for the individual, right? So what cryptocurrency does, right? And this was a genius of Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever they or he or she were, was that it gave us a platonic, perfect form of currency. It's as if Prometheus gave man fire, and now we're running with it in the open market. It's that significant. Wow. It's a Copernican revolution on all areas of life. And in the area of life that matters most, which is civilization. Civilization is nothing more than the idea that working together yields more than working by ourselves. Mm-hmm. That's all civilization is that idea where working together yields more for all of us than working by ourselves, right?
So in the business world, in my line of business, I coined a phrase a long time ago, 1 + 1 = 11, if done right. Would you agree with that?
100%. And so what really brings us together, what really unites us as human beings is the market, right? It's that the market is the place where you bring value and I bring value and we share value. And there's other people sharing value, and it's a meritocracy of value. That's how beautiful this is, right? You share value, I share value. And if I'm not sharing good enough value, I have to prune my value so I'm at par or even better than you. So it's what we call a Stackelberg competition, right? Where there's not one in the market. There's not one actual leader always, like these central planning tyrants want to tell you that they're the authority, that they're the expert. No. You're the expert of your own world. So at the Crypto Vigilante and the Dollar Vigilante, we are Austrian economists. We love Austrian economics. So we're sitting on the shoulders of giants. And what Austrian economics is in a nutshell is the inversion of the pyramid, where no longer is the central planner the most important person in the economy, but rather it's you the individual entrepreneur, right? That sees the excesses and deficits in the environment around you and that is able to arbitrage, right? That is able to come in and entrepreneur, right? So for the first time in history, we have the ability to be able to share value with one another and to be able to do that arbitrage, right? In real time with one another, P2P, person to person, without having to go through any third party, without having to trust any human being, right? It's you and someone else and nobody else's business, right?
The first question is, what the hell is a blockchain? What the hell is Bitcoin? And how is there any kind of value established? Because in my mind, I'm like, this has to be a bunch of these young kids that at some point in time were in their mom's basement playing video games, and they realized for us to keep score, we need some digital tokens so that I can prove that I'm better at this than you. So we're going to place a value on these digital tokens, and Bitcoin was born. And I know that I've just destroyed Bitcoin. That isn't what it is, but I'm just trying to understand the value. How in the hell did it get from a decade ago when all of this started, a Bitcoin, you could buy it for a couple bucks, and now it's $40,000.
The too long didn't read answer is simple: scarcity and digital scarcity and utility, right? So cryptocurrency, sound cryptocurrency, has all of the attributes that you find in gold and silver, right? So you have scarcity, right? That there, for example, in Bitcoin, there will only be 21 million Bitcoin ever. That's it.
Okay.
Over 18 million have been mined right now. So there's 3 million left to be mined, and then there won't ever be any more to circulate. It's completely deflationary. It's the complete opposite of the Federal Reserve. Okay.
Can you just real quick give me a remedial, what does it mean to mine Bitcoin?
Oh gosh.
And there's probably a whole 1 hour.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So let me tackle all of these questions one by one, because I mean, you ask these questions in a very logical manner, actually. So let's go down the logical. So first is monetary theory, right? Scarcity. It's money. It should be fungible it should be a good fungible, so it can be a good unit of exchange, right? And so
what is fungible? I mean, define fungible for me.
So
I hear that all the time.
Okay, yeah. So fungibility is the monetary property where one unit of accounts is always equal and interchangeable for another unit of account. So, right? So when we have dollar bills circulating, a dollar bill is always a dollar bill, right? A gram of gold is always a gram of gold. Obviously, there are forgeries, right? And we call them forged dollar bills, or alchemist gold, like that's not real gold, that's lead or whatever. And we're able to, once we identify it, obviously that loses its worth because it's not the real thing. Whereas that's the soundness of a medium of exchange, it's found in the fact that you can always interchange it for another one of the same, right? So the unit of account remains the same. It's always worth the same. Excellent. What would happen? So what would happen if tomorrow the federal government were to say any $100 bill or any dollar bill that has any molecule trace of cocaine loses its value, will drop its worth by 80%. So $1 bill will be worth 80 cents. I mean, obviously, then all of a sudden, the dollar bill will lose its fungibility, right? Because it would, because now every one unit of account would and never be completely equal and interchangeable with every other unit of account.
Okay, that's very helpful. Thank you. Because I always thought fungibility meant that you could use it on different things, but that it's a unit of measure that always stays the same. So thank you.
Correct. Yes, exactly. Okay, so it's cryptocurrency is also divisible, right? You can subdivide cryptocurrency into many units. Bitcoin, for example, is subdivided by 100 million units. Every Bitcoin can be subdivided by 100 million units.
Wow.
Right. So you have another aspect of cryptocurrency that is better, another attribute of monetary theory that is better than gold, precious metals, and fiat dollars, government Rothschild coin, right? Which is transportability, right? Right? I can do business with anyone in Japan as I can do with my next door neighbor without having to go through a third party where I am completely cryptographically secure. Like, you have to understand the level of security that we're dealing with. The algorithm used for Bitcoin is SHA-256, and that is a number. I forgot the exponent exactly, but the number is I forget the exact exponent, raised to the exponent and the number. I forgot the exact mathematical formula at this moment, but the conclusion of this number is that it is greater than all of the atoms of the known universe.
Wow.
Right. So that's the level of security you're dealing with. Right. When I said this is as if this is akin to Prometheus giving man fire, I meant it. It was not almost like an analogy. It was a very literal comparison in that we're talking about something magnanimous.
Now with cryptocurrency, as I understand it, now you don't need a bank to hold the gold. You don't need the gold. However, cryptocurrency or Bitcoin, let's just say, is valued from scarcity. Bottom line is there is now a value of $40,000 per crypto coin on it. Bottom line is now I don't have to launder that through somebody like a bank who's going to take their cut of it. Right. I can do it peer to peer like that. Is that
exactly
fair to say?
100%. So that's another aspect of cryptocurrency, that it gives you complete sovereignty. And this is like a monetary attribute that we really never considered in monetary theory in the past, right? The fact that, because there was the technology to actually consider this attribute, which is money as sovereign, Think about that as a concept where you don't trust anyone, right? You don't trust anyone with your money anymore. You are your own bank. Like, in the purest, most incredible ways possible, you trust mathematics, and 1 + 1 will always be equal to.
Right.
You trust the laws of mathematics, and that's it. So we could be here years, literally, talking about the genius that Satoshi gave the world. Like, literally, we can be here years. But let's get into it then.
I'm out. You just did a truth drop. Satoshi. Who is Satoshi?
Gosh, that's a loaded question. I have the right to remain silent on that one.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah, I know. I have some suspicions, and I think it was a team of people.
Yeah.
And let's just leave it at that.
Okay, but Satoshi,
it doesn't matter anymore.
But let's just call Satoshi Peter Pan. Peter Pan is a pseudonym, or Satoshi is a pseudo for either a person or a group of people who invented this blockchain and cryptocurrency or Bitcoin, or what would you say?
Uncle Todd, this goes even deeper than that, okay?
Okay.
Satoshi's looking at you in the mirror.
Okay.
Satoshi, as the people that started this, or the person that started this, is dead. What matters is you. You that are watching this right now, you are Satoshi. Okay. That's what matters. You are Satoshi. That's what matters. So you are Satoshi. You are a node in the network. By getting this knowledge, you're getting the download into your mind, and you're becoming part of the human blockchain per se, of understanding that this technology is even possible.
Okay.
So let's say tomorrow we have this crazy alien invasion or a crazy like tyrannical regime, and people are persecuted for knowing things that they shouldn't, right?
Like
well,
the
maybe
fourth industrial revolution, or
you know that this is possible for humanity now. So in you carrying this knowledge, you are a node in the network, right?
Yeah.
So the blockchain is nothing more, nothing less than a group of computers connected.
okay.
In the simplest of ways, is just a bunch of computers connected.
Okay, that's
These
helpful.
computers, okay. Different blockchains, different cryptocurrencies require different types of connections and different types of computer power to process transactions and to secure their respective networks in their own way, because every blockchain is different. And the genius of Satoshi, what he really gave us was the concept of proof of work, where computers that are specialized, now they're specialized. In the beginning, we would be able to mine out of your laptop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Computers that are specialized, they put work into solving complicated mathematical puzzles. And as the computer that is most efficient in doing that gets the right to categorize, we call that hash, to categorize all of the transactions in the past 10 minutes in Bitcoin, right? And by doing that, that computer's reward is rewarded Bitcoin, right?
Wow.
Yeah. So and so that's how they monetize, right? These computers also get paid from transaction fees, right? So there are many different types of blockchains. So that is a very over the top, like very summarized version of what we call proof of work, right? The computer does work to secure the network, and what it does in the process is that it expends energy. It spends energy in a way to signal to the network that this energy spent is a force field, like a moat that protects the network, right?
Mm-hmm.
This spent energy is also a signal to the rest of the world that they are investing in the future of Bitcoin, not just in the present, but in the future. Because once energy is spent and gone, the miner has to be profitable in the future to make up for the loss that he's putting himself in right now. The blockchain is nothing more than all of these computers that are connected, sharing a accounting ledger with all of the transactions.
Mm-hmm.
This accounting ledger is time-stamped in different blockchains at different intervals of time. In Bitcoin, is time-stamped every 10 minutes. He gave us a market-driven structure, the Nakamoto consensus, right? For the market to decide via what? Extreme competition. So what's even more important than decentralization, and this is something, a buzzword that I really want to get out there, is extreme competition.
Okay.
Right? Extreme competition is more important than decentralization, because there's a lot of technocrats in crypto that are ever since the craziness. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep. Go ahead.
They're taking their masks off in crypto, and they're showing us what they really think. And they're socialist communists in crypto too, guys.
Okay.
Right? And that's why we're vigilant at the Crypto Vigilante. We know what the heck to look for, right?
Sure.
And just like the socialists and communists will tell you, hey, you must not be a kind person because you're not for equality, right? It sounds beautiful. Equality sounds beautiful, right?
Right.
Rainbows and unicorns, right? Equality, right? Okay, but let me ask you this. Who determines this equality? Now this word decentralization is used to implement centralized control, just like the socialists have done in other aspects of life, right? So what you need to ask yourself is, what the heck is this decentralization? Where is it coming from, and for what purpose? Okay,
Yeah.
Because really what matters more than decentralization is exactly what tyrants, communists, and fascists hate, which is competition.
Where that Bitcoin was bought, sold, by who, for how much, when. It went from, you talk about the rolled up dollar bill and the cocaine. It went from this John Smith to Coke dealer to, and John Smith keeps, so it literally tracks you. So there is no privacy with a Bitcoin. And
Correct.
that kind of sucks. And I think that's why a lot of high net worth individuals may necessarily not have dove into this world of cryptocurrency so fast, because they know that it is not private. And what this conference, the thing that went over all of our heads until you at least grasp the 101, I want people watching to know that a lot of the conference was about privacy and how do you take that same dollar bill, and when you turn it over, you can tell it was spent, but you don't know by who or how much or what division of that 1/100 millionth or whatever. You can just tell there was a transaction. And that then becomes private, not only to everyone else out there, but guess who else? The Druid Babylonian bastards that run the show. And that's what they don't like. That's why they don't like the people like you that are the pioneers in this privacy space. So where we should all be thinking we want this to go is we want to be able to have this digital currency that is private, that we own it. And it's like, the anarchist rule, right? Just leave me the hell alone. You do what you do. Let me do what I do. I'm going to earn what I earn, and I kind of want to keep it. I don't want to give you the ability to control me. Right. And fiat currency, the government can absolutely control you because they see every transaction that you make. Okay. Sorry.
So when Bitcoin started, it was pseudonymous, and we always knew that it was not the ideal privacy that we always wanted, but it was private enough, and that if you knew how to, if you knew how to handle the technology, you could remain pretty private and anonymous. But ever since like 2014, we had companies like Chain Analysis, Elliptic, and these companies, they started investing in, and they just formed to provide blockchain analytics, right? And now they are they're rampant. And so, yes, the vast majority of cryptocurrencies are completely transparent. We call them surveillance coins at the Crypto Vigilante. We call them transparent coins, or surveillance coins, right?
Okay.
And unfortunately, what happened with these coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, that are not private by default, even though they might tell you in the future we will be private, but right now you're not private. And what matters to me is right now you're not private right now. And we have other ways to kind of make it private. We have optional privacy where you send your coin here and you like mix it with other coins and in a box, and then we call that coin join. And then you take out your coin and then they're clean. No, you're not. That's not really clean. For us at the Crypto Vigilante, that's putting like food into dirty soup plate, and shaking the food, and you don't know if someone else brought really dirty coin in there, right? So unfortunately, what happens is that Bitcoin and a lot of cryptocurrencies, the vast majority of them lost their fungibility. I remember fungibility means one unit of account for it to be interchangeable and the same as every other single unit of account. Unfortunately, now with cryptocurrencies that are surveillance coins, someone can tell you, some financial house or anyone, any merchant can say, hey, I don't want that Bitcoin you have right there. Because that Bitcoin right there was spent 39 transactions ago in something that was deemed illicit by a certain jurisdiction. So what happens then? That cryptocurrency lost its fungibility, which is an incredible aspect of money. Yeah. Wow. And guess what? These guys at Wall Street that are all into, we're getting Bitcoin, and they're all into their Bitcoin. Guess what?
They're going to have an awakening.
Well, yeah, they are. But the thing is that these guys, okay, look, these guys, you have to understand them. These guys, they just play follow the leader. These guys were indoctrinated, 12 years of government indoctrination.
Yep.
And they went to a fancy school, maybe, and where they paid for more indoctrination, and they were taught this thing called compliance, which is just knowing how to kneel, right? Kneeling adequately, right? They come out of there with knee pads, literally, and they can't think for themselves. They can't think like entrepreneurs, right? They don't know what to do with a guy like me. Like,
I have a question for you. So
go for it.
This is a decade old, a little more than a decade old, 2009. And I look at someone like you, Jeff Berwick, and I'm like, man, oh man, I wish I would have been smarter. I wish I would have caught in that wave way back then. And my goodness, what kind of value what would my net worth be if I'm buying something at $2 that's now trading at 40,000 10 years ago, right? So my question to you is this: are we behind the curve, or are we still on the ground floor of something that is going to be amazingly special?
Guys, look behind me. How many people were at our conference, the Crypto Vigilante?
Maybe 1,200, 1,500.
Yeah, give or take. Look at all these people behind me. Millions.
Yeah.
This is guys. I'll give you something to think about and consider. Monero, for example, is everything that Bitcoiners that first bought Bitcoin, or people that bought Bitcoin, like Matthew Saylor and all these people on Wall Street. Monero is what they thought they had purchased.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, Monero is like at $160.
Okay.
And yeah, so we're incredibly early still. Cryptocurrency is one of the only things we have right now to keep us away from global financial slavery. You know, what's happening in China right now with the social credit system, it's extremely tyrannical. Yeah. Extremely tyrannical. And if we allow this global, planetary tyranny to take over, humanity and all of us are going to enter into an age of tyranny that will be extremely hard to end. So we need to use these cryptographic tools, right? Without cryptography, there is no cryptocurrency. We need to use these cryptographic tools to be able to stand up against these tyrannical movements throughout the world. Do you understand that what we're putting here is a resistance, first and foremost? That if you are well off tomorrow because of any reason, if you're well off, it won't matter. It won't matter if you have $1 billion. If you're not in the special club, you're going to be a slave, literally, a financial and physical slave. Capital controls are nothing more than people controls. Yeah. Right? And you're going to be subject to tyranny that won't end. Like, get that through your head. Like, you are almost at the precipice of complete tyranny. Complete tyranny. Yeah. And where are you going to go? There is no place to go. Like, you're going to have to stand your ground wherever you're at. There is no other place to go. You need to invest in crypto because every dollar bill in your pocket is losing its purchasing power.
That's the moral of the story right there.
I mean, you, whether you like it or not, whoever you are that are watching this, it is in your personal best interest to learn about this.
Do you know
we are in a sinking ship? This is a sinking ship, guys. The whole global economy is in a sinking ship right now. These are the life rafts. Are you going to get on the life rafts or not? Money is the least of concerns to me, guys. My concern is you're about to be locked in, and your family and friends and your loved ones are about to go into global tyranny for the rest of time.
Right.
You're going into a prison planet, as Alex Jones talks about. Like, that is my concern.
And if you think this is an exaggeration, no,
it's not an exaggeration, guys.
You kind of missed 2020 if you think it's an exaggeration.